From the San Francisco Examiner, Sunday, October 13th, 1889. Determined efforts being made to save Draeger and Olson. The people indignant, and officials are in sympathy with the condemned men. A report comes from Placerville that there is a probability that Olson and Draeger, the murderers of William Lowell, will not expiate their crimes on the gallows next Wednesday, the day set by Judge Williams. It is reported that Sheriff Anderson will resign shortly before the time for which the execution is set, thereby delaying the hanging. The execution is expected to proceed within the hour.
Pardon, sir. Correction. The name of the man killed was not William Lowell. It was John Lowell. William is the name of the victim's son. I want to acknowledge the members of the press and implore you to attend to the facts rather than repeat the wild presumptions of a certain San Francisco reporter. I've been sheriff of El Dorado County going on 3 years now, 1886. I am not going to resign. Further, this morning, as sentenced, 2 men will lose their lives for the killing of John Lowell. They are John Olson and William Bill Draeger. And myself, Charlie Winchell, under sheriff, all the deputies, we've come to know these men pretty well over the last year or so. This will be a difficult day for us. Now, I know some of you come from out of town. You come with the notion of Placerville as Hangtown. Well, there are a number of townsfolk who are pretty broken up about today's events. You can see their names on that petition down there, asking Governor Waterman to commute these men's sentences to life imprisonment. My signature is there, along with my son-in-law, District Attorney Marcus Bennett. I am very proud of him for the efforts he's made to try to save these men. The crime. Saturday, March 24th, last year, 1888. John Lowell, 59 years old, Irishman, shot, killed, buried on the Lowell property just north of Mormon Island. Ammunition used, bird shot. Shot in the back of the head. That didn't kill him. So it was used a shotgun. Busted his skull. Brutal. A few months later, his decomposing body was found wrapped in a tarp, buried beneath some dirt and debris in his burned out cellar. A few more words about John Lowell. He was prone to rage when drinking, and frequently provoked violent fights. Moreover, 3 years ago, he was involved in an incident in Brighton, just outside of Sacramento, where he shot and killed a man, left a young widow and a baby. Poor fella killed. After that, most of Sacramento had it in for Lowell. He so feared being hanged or lynched. After he was sitting in jail for a while, he transferred all his belongings to his son, William. Now, John Lowell got off self-defense because he had good lawyers. But he made plenty of enemies. 8 months before he died, his ranch house burned to the ground, leaving Lowell with a burned-out cellar and living in a 15 by 15 shack. So now you know, John Lowell was not a likable man. but the law takes the victim as it finds him, and we were in pursuit of his killers. Night before the murder, 3 men arrived on the Lowell property. They come from Sacramento by invitation of the victim himself to do some work. Looked over a job cutting wood. First man, Henry Myers, 27-year-old from Bremen, Germany. Been living in Sacramento for a while, tending bar at the William Tell House. Married the chambermaid. They had not been married a year before the killing. Second man, John Olson, 23 years old, Norwegian sailor. Lived in Sacramento for about 3 years, working steamboats and on local farms. Third man, William Bill Drager, 40 years old, German. Drager run away from home, age 15, escaping an abusive father. Became a sailor, worked ships out of Liverpool, England, where he earned the name Liverpool Bill. Mighty proud of that name. All 3 men were in desperate need of money, especially Myers. He was dismissed from the William Tell House, convicted of embezzlement. His wife, pregnant. He and Olson had been leasing a ranch house, but got themselves evicted for non-payment. Well, as I said, all 3 men came to the ranch by invitation of Lowell himself to do some work, camp the night. Next morning, Lowell cooked them all breakfast, during which time a good deal of whiskey was drunk. Then they set out to look at the trees to cut. Now, Lowell had a double-barrel shotgun. Gun was in sorry shape, all wired up to help hold it together. Gave the gun to Myers. Myers was blind in one eye, so why he was the one to carry the gun showed a pretty poor lack of judgment, if you asked me. Went up, took a look at the job to be done. On the return, as they neared the shack, Olson was out front, followed by Lowell behind him, Myers with the gun, and Drager. The 3 in the back were talking peacefully when Myers shot Lowell in the back of the head. Third shot nearly hit Olson. He fled to hide in a chicken coop. Then Drager saw Myers hit Lowell over the head. Gun broke. Drager took off running. After dark, he and Olson crept back to camp. But Myers was still there and coerced them into helping him bury the body. Now, 2 probably would have been all right with the law if they'd left it at that, at least not hanged. But instead of notifying the authority of what they'd seen, they had other thoughts going through their head. Myers pressured them into helping him steal 5 of Lowell's horses, mule, buggy, some harnesses, which he sold in Sacramento. Took 3 months for the local authorities to catch up with the 3. They were held for grand larceny. Myers was the only one to plead guilty, was given 10 years. Now, testimony about the killing. Myers told many versions, always implicating the other 2. Drager first denied even being at the ranch, but after being brought up to Placerville, he confessed. However, he always maintained that they never intended to kill Lowell or to steal the livestock. Olson was the only one to be consistent in his story. He admitted being there, stealing the stock, and always insisting they never planned to do it ahead of time. He said Myers threatened him if he didn't go along. All three men were tried together in Placerville. All three convicted of murder. Judge Williams set the hanging for Friday, November 30th last year. We had to build a scaffold big enough to hang all three men at once. Excuse me. Then Judge Williams was sent back east. Judge Arnott stepped in and stayed the execution, pending appeal, for Olson and Draeger, leaving Myers to hang alone that Friday. You would think a circus had come to Placerville with the number of people that descended onto our little town. Some folks were pretty upset that only one man was going to hang that day. Myers was in a wretched state. We had to carry him all the way to the gallows. He was squirming and cussing vulgarities and groaning and carrying on right up till near time his neck snapped. School children thought it'd be exciting to see a hanging, screamed, ran, crying, hid their faces in their mother's skirts. No man, let alone a woman or child, should ever see such a grotesque sight. The appeals for Olson and Draeger took about a year. And I kept the men busy. They appreciated it. Olson made several pairs of colorful hempen slippers and wooden fans. Draeger made oval doormats and produced over 53 colorful rugs out of hemp and worsted, including a long carpet covers the entire length of the courthouse hallway. It's beautiful. Their appeals were denied. Judge Williams sentenced them to hang today. The night watch tells me that Bill Draeger had no trouble falling asleep last night. Young Olson slept fitfully. Both men have embraced the Catholic faith. Father Henneberry, Father Klein from St. Patrick's Church are with them now. Contrary to the presumptions of the San Francisco Examiner, the executions. John Olson, Bill Draeger will commence according to sentence. And I am not going to resign, as it is my sworn duty to oversee these shameful proceedings. I pray that this is the last hanging in this good county. Excuse me, I see my wife Hattie coming with one last breakfast for these men. Excuse me, I must go.